Hey everybody, it's Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. Thank you for being here, I really appreciate it. Texas lessons learned. What can we take away from what has been going on in Texas lately? The extreme cold weather, the power loss, grid down. We've been talking about that for a long time, grid down scenarios. I've been suggesting that people get alternate power sources, at least methods to heat your home. I've been getting a lot of really good messages, emails, comments, stuff like that, the people that did exactly that. And so they're okay. And that's great. So what are the lessons? The lessons are that anything can happen. That's why we prepare. We don't know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. There are extremes like that. There's natural disasters also. Extremes like Yellowstone supervolcano. New Madrid fault line, San Andreas fault line, hurricanes, tornadoes, all that kind of stuff. We never know when things like that are going to happen. That's why we prep. And that's why I recommend people prep in generalities, not for one specific event. Because if you're prepping for one specific event, then you are setting yourself up for failure for everything else that can happen. So what are some of the lessons learned? Lessons learned, alternate sources of power. Very important. Or the ability to live and exist and do the things you need to do outside of the power system. AKA wood stoves for heating, cooking, ranges, propane, not natural gas, because natural gas comes from the city, right? Things that are outside of other people's control, like propane tanks. You could still light your stove, just do it manually. Extra fuel for your vehicles. People ran into that. Gas stations didn't have power. So not all of them. Some of them had backup power, some didn't. So if you have extra fuel, you're setting yourself up for success. What else? Warm blankets, heaters. I'll tell you a funny story one. So here we are in Western Washington, and I was deployed on mission in the military, and we lost power here. My wife was home with 2 kids. I forget their ages exactly, but she went to the store to get a couple things, and she was standing there looking at space heaters until our oldest son said, "Hey Mom, those plug in." It was so funny. I still give her a hard time about that. Because it is funny. People don't always think. She's a very, very smart woman. Very intelligent. But just one of those brain fart things. Oh yeah, that's not going to do us any good. So having things like that is not going to help. But what will help? There are different kind of heaters out there. There's oil heaters, propane heaters, like oil lanterns. There are Coleman stoves. There's a lot of different ways. Look at camping heaters and stuff like that. But be mindful and be aware of the fact of whether they need to be vented or not. Some of those you can't use inside because the gases and the fumes and everything like that will run you out or could really hurt you. So alternate sources of heat, very important. Wool blankets. I've been saying that. Blankets, wool blankets, quilts, fleece blankets, whatever. Warm clothing. Even if you are in an area that doesn't get cold very often, things like this can happen. So those kind of things. What else? What are some other lessons learned? I obviously am not living there. I'm basing this off of other people's responses to me and what they went through. Snow shovels, or not even, you don't even have a snow shovel, but if you have your garden and stuff like that and you're doing the things, you have a shovel. Well, get one of those flat shovels too, instead of the rounded end shovels. That way you can use it as a snow shovel. One thing that works really well, also, the stuff you put in your driveway that melts the snow, that is also a desiccant. It absorbs moisture from the air. So it's the same stuff I use in my fifth wheel to make sure that it doesn't grow mold in there, it doesn't build up moisture inside of it. You can sprinkle that in your driveway also to melt the snow. Or your road. I have a hill in front of my house, so it's concerned getting in and out. But because I'm prepared, and because our latest snowstorm, we got about 1.5 feet, came during the weekend when I was off. So we didn't have to go anywhere. So we just didn't. We just stayed put. So that's one wonderful thing about being prepared, is you don't have to put yourself in situations that can put you at more risk or greater danger. I heard stories about people, going to gas stations, and people were getting really upset, tensions were rising and stuff like that, and they were able to tell them about a gas station that does have power. So maybe that mitigated a situation that could have got real ugly. Maybe people would have ended up fighting over or something. It's just level heads and the ability. If you are prepared, you can help others. You can, reach out to your neighbors, your friends. You can take care of them. You can make sure they have heat or power, or alternate power, or something like that. If they don't, maybe invite them over to your house to stay warm for a while. Extra fuel for your vehicle also enables you to, if you're just staying put, even if you're not driving your vehicle anywhere, if you don't have to go anywhere, it enables you to run the vehicle, run the heater, and sit in your vehicle and warm up, and or potentially sleep in it. I wouldn't recommend sleeping in it while the engine's running, just because even if you're outside, there's still gases and stuff like that. But there's a lot of lessons learned from Texas. Reliance on the grid, reliance on outside systems, not good, no bueno. Self-reliance, self-sustainability, these kind of things are very important. And I'm really glad all the awesome comments you guys have been giving me about being there and being ready for it and being equipped and getting through it okay because you watch this channel and other channels. I'm not trying to take the credit here. There's so many other good channels also. Just the fact that you did it. I don't care where you got the knowledge from. If I'm able to help, great. But the fact is you got the knowledge, you did the things, that's on you. You guys are awesome. You guys are the ones that chose to do the things. You guys chose to spend the money. You guys chose to listen. You guys chose to humble yourselves and better yourselves. That is amazing. Thank you so much. There's been so many awesome comments. Some of them were giving me chills. Oh man, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I do this. That was so uplifting for me. So uplifting. You guys are just amazing. I love you guys. Keep on doing the things and learn lessons. Lessons learned from Texas can apply other places. So make sure that you're learning from other people, other people's mistakes, what happens where other people are, and applying them to your life. Because it's much easier to learn that way than learning from your own mistakes and from what's happening right in here in your front yard. So anyway, please, like I say, prep a little every day. I love you guys and blessings to you and yours.